What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AOB. Okay, day number 6-9. I don't want to hear any dirty jokes in the comments. All right, this is a family channel. We're at $1,419.71 is our profit ceiling. Okay, now I'm playing with a $250 bankroll. Remember, I said I'm going to leave it at that, and that percentage of our playable balance that percentage of our overall bankroll is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. Right now, $250 is 18% of our bankroll. It started out around 30, right? So we are lowering our risk, keeping our bankroll the same, and I still think we can do plenty well on just that. I'm going to keep this 250 for as long as we can. All right, let's get into it here. We are going to go back to sit and spin. I'm going to go with 30-cent units. Now, I have played this with $1 unit on a $250 bankroll and have done well, but it is way on the risky side. Okay, you don't have that many progressions especially with the way I'm playing. And I'm going to show you how I'm playing. I've made just two really minor modifications. One of them is pretty substantial in terms of the overall program, but not that huge. All right, so we're going to play there. Now this gets a little harder because I'm using 30-cent units, right? So when you're adding units, I've got the favorite saved. Right now we can go without a problem. I wanted to play on the speed tables, but I just can't do it because I can't get the bets. With 30 cents, it's pretty hard. So I have my bets saved here. I'll just have to do my unit sizes over here often and then just move it over. We're going to do the same thing. 1 unit, in this case, it's 30 cents on each dozen that didn't hit. If we lose, we 3x that, okay? If we lose here again, if we would have sat out until that dozen cleared, meaning wait until that doesn't hit that dozen. It hits any other dozen besides that one. All right, here we go. If I had more room, I would save bets like 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3. But that's okay. That would make things a lot easier. That way you have 3 bets, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and 1 and 3. And you would have those 3 saved bets and it becomes a lot easier. But I'm just going to go with it as it is. We got plenty of time. Since I've been playing on the speed table, this is easy peasy. All right. So let's recap how the existing one goes. The existing one plays that if we get whacked on the first one, we 3x our bet and we repeat the same bet. If it loses, meaning it hits that same dozen again, we sit out. Once the dozen clears, means it hits a different dozen, we go in with a 1 unit bet. And as long as we're winning, we just keep betting that 1 unit on each dozen. So it's 2 unit total bet, but we're just betting 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. As soon as that loses, we do a recovery bet. A recovery bet means we take the total difference between what our session profit, our session high was, and where we're at now. And we're going to make that, each dozen is going to bet that amount plus 1 unit. Okay. So if we bet that big bet, that recovery bet, that'll get us all the way back up plus 1 base unit. If we lose that recovery bet, we sit out again until that dozen clears and we go back in with 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit until we lose. Then we do another recovery bet. All right. What I found was if I lost the first 2, sat out, went with 1 unit, sometimes maybe bet once, win once or twice, and then lose, and then go to the recovery bet. What I find is when I lose that next recovery bet, and then I wait it out. If I lose that next bet, and then I do the recovery bet, which is even bigger now, and then I wait it out for that dozen to clear, then I go back in with 1 unit, and I bet 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. What I found was that 1 unit it does very little after that first big loss if you lose that second recovery bet. It does very little because it's only getting 1 unit. And because it's a 2 unit bet, even, excuse me, even if you win, say 4 in a row, and then you lose, guess what? You've only won 2. You've only won 2. Okay. Because you bet 4 in a row, you win 4 units, you lose that 5th one, you just lost 2 units. So you're back down to 2 units, not much. And what I found was after I lost some big ones, I'm way down. I start betting and I go on this nice little, sometimes 5, 6 wins in a row, but I'm only winning 1 unit. Then I lose. Then I go back in for a big recovery bet and I lost again. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, and it can go any way, right? But I'm thinking to myself, man, if I had just gone in quicker, I would have already been done. And you guys know me, I don't really like prolonged, recovery periods. Now, there are advantages to the way it is, and I like James's OG system of sit and spin. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just fine-tuning it for my own personality, right? So what I do now is when I lose my first one, I triple it up. If I lose that second one, I sit out till it clears. Everything remains the same. When I go back in, I do my 1 unit bet, right? But if that one wins or loses, regardless of win or lose, I'm going in with a recovery bet. So I don't sit there and I'm not going to bet a bunch of times, right? At 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. I'm going to bet a 1 unit base bet and I'm immediately going into my recovery bet, win or lose. If I lose that recovery bet, I sit out. Once it clears that dozen and hits a different dozen, I'm going to go in, but this time, instead of a 1 unit bet, I martingale that first bet. And now I'm betting 2 units, 2 units. And whether I win or lose, I go in for a full recovery bet. If I lose that one, I wait, then I go in. Now I'm doing 4 units for my first bet, then recovery bet. So at the most it takes at any point in time, it only takes 2 hits. 2 hits, me hitting you, you hitting the floor. Remember that stupid thing? Takes 2 hits. So on this system, the most that it takes, whether you win or lose on that first one, is going to be 2 spins every time. You're guaranteed to be back in profit, 2 spins, no matter what, unless you keep losing, right? Win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. In which case, then you're going to go down no matter what. Here we go. So 10-cent units is really comfortable with this kind of bankroll. I'm really comfortable with 10-cent units, but it definitely is a grind, okay? In roughly about 15 to 18 minutes of play with this strategy on the OG version, I can play 15 to 18 minutes and often I'll be at $1. I'll be at $1, okay? Now, if you have the time to put in a bunch of sessions during the day, I'm okay with it. And that's not saying that you can't have better sessions. I did have a really good session earlier on where it was a 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. I was winning 3 for every one I lost, which we shouldn't, right? It should be a 2-to-1 ratio. So that was pretty friggin' amazing. All right, what did she just hit? She just hit 11. And I don't think, all right, you guys can see I have the numbers, which are actually right underneath behind me, but I have it overlaid. So you can see it hit 11. So we're going second and third. So we're doing well here. So I think 30 cents for a $250 balance is a really good balance. It gives me plenty of progressions. $1 I like, but it is very aggressive. And if you happen to get in a bad rut, which I haven't really done that yet. All right, there's our second one. So we're going to sit out. I really want her to actually lose. And every time on these demos, I want her to lose so you guys can see the recovery. I usually always never really go too deep on these things. So I really want her to lose. Anyway, so that's the difference. I hope we get through it. So hopefully that makes sense. The difference between the James's OG sit and spin and this a little bit more. Now you say, oh, that's a lot more aggressive. I don't know. That goes both ways because with the original, if you lose a couple and you're down and you're just betting 1 unit, and then you lose, you're losing, okay, what was our high? 270. So we're down 60. So we're going to go back in with 1 unit. All right, there's our 1 unit bet. And regardless, right, we were down 60 cents. If we win this one, we're down 30 cents. If we lose this one, we're down $1.20. Okay, we're down $1.20. All right. Actually, what loss is this? 1 loss. Never mind. This is our second progression. So yeah, this will get us back into profit immediately. See, I need her to hit us and whack us. I want to get some losses here. Okay. Here we go. Circling back, I was thinking about something today. And by the way, I've got some comments I'd like to pull up and go through some of those comments. And I have something I want to show you guys I'm really excited about. So I'll be showing you guys something cool in the next session or the session after that, I think you're going to like. Give you guys a little something. I really was thinking about it. I do want to reiterate, I really think it's important for you all to set office hours. Okay. And we talked about this before. Don't just come down here and get glued all day, all night. All right. You will get burned out, and that's not what we want, right? We don't want you getting burned out. So set some hours, set how many sessions you're going to play during the day, 15, 20-minute sessions or whatever you're doing. Set those office hours and then close the door. Get off of this thing. Number two, just like a job, you get vacation time with your job, right? At least most jobs. Schedule vacation time from this thing. Get away from it. It doesn't have to be a 2-week or 1-week normal vacation, because this is, this is pretty fun anyway. But maybe you do an extended weekend, right? Where you have Sunday, you don't play on the weekends, which is another thing I was going to tell you. I think it's a really good plan not to play on the weekends. Do Monday, Friday, unwind. Okay, unwind. I know a lot of you are going to wait, but that's days that I'm not winning. I know, but in the long term, I used to stream every single day of the week, 7 days a week, and I was making videos 7 days a week, and it was great for a long time, and then things started happening, and I started getting burned. So now I don't stream on the weekends. I've actually taken some time off. I'm streaming less, and I'm starting to pick it up again because I'm enjoying it. All right, we hit that, so now we got to triple up, and I'm hoping we get whacked here, and then I'm hoping we get whacked 2 more times. I want us to get down in the ditch here. So just take some vacation time. So periodically take an extended weekend, a weekend plus 3 days, and don't touch this thing. It'll still be here. I promise you, it'll still be here when you get back. Okay. It'll still be here. But you want to stay fresh. You want to stay motivated. You don't want this to start seeming like a chore, something I don't want to do this anymore. You don't want to get to that point. So don't even let yourself get to the point, even if you were to play every day and you're like, man, I absolutely love this, you'll get to that point at some point. Keep yourself fresh, get some exercise, go do things that are going to make you holistically healthy, not just financially healthy, right? What's the point of being financially healthy if the rest of you is not healthy, right? So get up, walk around. I showed you guys, I got that little mini stair stepper at my desk. That has been amazing. Does it replace going out and getting some fresh air and going for a real walk? No, but it's better than nothing. But I'm still going to go out there and get some fresh air and go for a real walk, right? All right. Enough preaching on that. Take some time off, set a schedule. Remember to spend time with your family. Don't become a hermit down in front of your computer. And I'll give you one last piece of advice too. And this could be with anything. And I'm sorry, I'm sounding really preachy, but this can be with anything you do. You know how you get a hobby or you like something, and whenever you want to go to your friends, you just start talking about it because you're really excited about it. It could be anything. Guess what? They're not as excited about it as you are. And they may be interested initially a little bit, but if that's all you do, you just start talking about gambling and this and this and this, they're going to be like, man, I really don't want to, I don't want to hear about it. So I would suggest in anything you do, and like I said, it could be anything. You could be into cars. You could be into guns. You could be into whatever, lifting weights. Be a good listener. And if you let people know, hey, in a conversation, this is what you've done, and they'll know you do it. And if they want to ask you questions, talk to them about it and try to be succinct, try to be brief. And if they want to keep hearing, great. But often, most of the people, they don't want to go into detail. They don't want to know. Follow the winner was okay, this is exactly what we wanted. All right. So we're up 360. So we are 480. We're down 480. When we come back after it clears out, we're going to go in for 30 cents, right? We're down 480. We're going to go in for 30 cents and 30 cents. That's another 60 cents. So we'll either be down 540 or we'll be down 430. And either way, we're going to go in for our recovery bet. So our high is 360. All right. We're sitting out because look at her. She's just nailing that second dozen. I really don't like playing Prag for this one. We're getting really lucky thus far. I mean, we've been approaching a 3-to-1 ratio, right? So but in general, I'm not a fan of this. And I'm glad we're sitting out anyway, because we have a dealer change. But yeah, limit how much you talk about this stuff to people. You may be really into it. I mean, haven't you ever been around someone like that where they're really into something and you go say hi and they start telling you about something and it like literally like 30 seconds to a minute into it, you're like, that's cool. But then they just go on and on and on. And you're like, I love you, brother or sister or friend or whatever, but you're in your head going. And so you start doing those little keywords like, okay, well, that sounds great. And they don't pick up on those keywords like you're saying, shush. Wow. Look at that. Another second dozen hit. All right. So sometimes it's great when I play this, if you want to be exact, to know exactly 360, right? That's 480. It's not a bad idea to have a piece of paper and go 480. And I'm going to be throwing 60 cents down there. If I win, great. I get to subtract 30 cents. It'll be a $4.50 bet plus 30 cents. It stays at 480. Or I'm going to take 480 and I'm going to add 60 cents to it, right? And I'm going to have to go to 540 plus 30 cents. I'm going to go a 570 bet. Wow. Again, look at that. As I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, there's a good thing that this has a break in it. But what I noticed too is on these Prag tables, let's say she finally clears this dozen, hits the first dozen. So you go in on that first bet, which in this case would be 1 unit, and she hits back and she hits it again or something. Sometimes I stay out. When I see a run of really long, like second dozens, I'll just stay and cover the second dozen and only flip my first and third. You don't have to just go about this one way. Feel free to make some adjustments along the way about the coverage types. All right, there we go. So remember, we're down $4.80. We're going to go in at a base bet here. And we'll see what happens. So we'll be either down 540 or we will bet the base bet of 480 plus 30 cents, right? All right, here we go. Or excuse me, we'll bet 480, which will get us up 30 cents either way. So we're either going to bet 480 or we're going to bet 560. The only two possible outcomes, 480 or 560. Let's see which one's going to be. I hope it's the 480. All right, there we go. But I hate that it landed on the second because that's what we're leaving open. All right, 480. Here we go. All right, there we are. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's let's get some quotes up here. From Escopar 9056, love your channel. Best Heisenberg ever. I love that. Heisenberg. First time I've been called a Heisenberg. Let's fucking cook, baby. I appreciate it, Escobar. Thanks a lot, brother. From James, website sounds amazing. Okay. How did we do? Yes, we recovered. Oh, and I think I definitely went way overboard. I did my math wrong, which is not unusual for me. Happy accident. So where did I go wrong on this? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was in my head thinking we were down below water level. Anyway, all right. So you guys are going, Brent, you're an idiot. You don't know how to do math. And you're right. Website looks amazing or sounding amazing. I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview in the next session or the one after of the website. The content isn't all complete. There's some just placeholder content in there, but I'm going to give you a showing of what it is going to look like when we're finished. And again, this is just the initial mock-up. All right. There we go. So stay tuned for that. And let's keep going here. Any suggestions for Beat the Casino that can be played from Australia? Any Aussies that can help? Thanks for the vid. This Gareth Dory from Australia. Gareth, yeah. So from Australia, what you can do is get into our Discord get into our Discord, create a ticket. There's a ticket type, a support ticket type called stake.com or stake ticket type. Get in there, create a ticket. We will help get you set up. All right, brother? We will help get you set up. All right, we're back down to base bet. That's great. And where are we at? 20 minutes? All right, we got to get ready to cut out here. One more win and we're out. One more profitable win and we're out. So yeah, get into our Discord, create a ticket. We will definitely help you, get you set up so that you can be playing on a casino where you have all the options available to you and penny bets if you want. All right, let's keep going on, see what else I got here. Why did you switch the shuffle from stake? So that goes way back. That goes way back. Why did I switch to shuffle? At the time we were at stake and we were doing really well. And I was getting really close to a really, really good deal with them. And I'll keep playing while I just finish this real quick. We were getting really close to getting a really, really good deal with them. And then Shuffle came along and they contacted me. And they said, hey, blah, 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 sweet talked me, you know. You're beautiful, you're smart, all that thing. Come date me. So we put together a package. What I did wrong is I didn't get anything in writing. And I moved over. A lot of our members moved over. And then they never followed through with the promises. In fact, they made it worse in many respects. Okay, come on. This repeating stuff. So they didn't honor it. So then when we were there, and I was pretty miffed because I had moved over there. I had shut down my my contact with Stake in a polite way. I don't burn bridges. I'd terminated that, went over there. They did not live up to the promises. Even VIP transfers, which most casinos do VIP transfers, especially with an affiliate partner and their members, they wouldn't honor the VIP transfers. And they ended up actually making it worse. So Raise contacted me. This time, I learned I got everything in writing when we went over there. They honored every single thing that they said they would do. The only reason I'm not still with Raised as an affiliate partner is because they're originals, their dice, their mines, the digital stuff. That stuff is really, really hard to play on. It's slow, it's laggy, it doesn't have all the advanced tool stuff. Anyway, you get it. All right, that's it for right now. I'm going to come back. We'll do another session of this. We're at $7.20. That's with a 30-cent unit. And let's see what kind of damage we can do when we come back a second time. And if we do 4 sessions, I'll probably do a different strategy for session 3 and 4. All right, I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, fools, we are back for our second session. We're just going to keep doing the same. I'm hoping that we get a little bit deeper and then I do my math a little bit better this time. So let's see how we go. Okay, we're going to go back in. Remember, we're doing 30-cent units. Okay, so you definitely, when you have a number like a 30-cent unit, you definitely want to make a saver favorite. And if you can, like I said, save 3 of them, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 3. Just makes placing your bets. And when you need to add 3 of them, it makes it so much easier when you're doing a number like this. So, yeah, let's, I'm going to get back. I think I have 1 or 2 more comments we're going to get through. And then either this session or the next one, I am going to show you a preview of the new website. So stay tuned, fans. All right, here we go. Let's get our bet back. Okay. You know, after playing on the speed roulette table so much, I feel like I just have all the time in the world now. All right. Oh my God, this is from, I hope I'm saying Casey, Casey88. Oh my God, I'm so excited about the slice strategy. Oh gosh, don't be. Thank you so much. And thank you, James and Brent, for this new strategy. Thanks, James. I already tried it, and even with a small bankroll, I was able to survive and earn a decent income. That is exactly what we want to hear. 100%. So good job. Super happy. Again, this strategy has nothing to do with me. It's thanks, James, for putting this together and sharing it. That's the power of the community. So don't just be a watcher and a viewer. Get into our Discord. Become part of the community. Share your adventures. You don't have to create strategies. You don't have to do any of that stuff to be a productive member of our community. Just coming in and sharing your experiences, just coming in and socializing with people in there. That is enough. That's all you got to do. So don't feel like you got to be like, you don't have to be like James, okay? And come up with a cool, awesome strategy and say, look at me, I'm James, I'm so cool because I created an awesome strategy, okay? You don't have to be that way. You can just come in, talk to people. You know what? When people get rinsed, they come into our general channel in our Discord and they, man, I just got rinsed. I lost everything out. There's no I told you so's. There's no guilt trips. There's no ridicule. There's nothing but, hey, chin up. We've been there. You can get through it. Go back to the grind. There's nothing but support. So you don't have to come to our Discord to invent strategies. You don't have to come into Discord to do this or that. You can come into our Discord simply to be an active member and be encouraging to others, because we get new people all the time. Bring your experience in. That's invaluable. All right. So there's that. I'm super glad that you were able to recover and get through. I like that strategy a lot. What currency do I choose for 1 cent bets? Okay, Tia. All right, I think they meant thanks. But Brian Johnson, what do I do? Okay, if you're playing on stake.us, they have 1 penny bets on the Prague tables in USD. If you don't have access to that, then what you're going to want to do is you can switch to ARS if your casino supports it. Okay? Most of these casinos do support it. And in the case of stake.com, I believe they go down to 5 ARS. Now, to give you some idea, 50 ARS is equivalent to roughly 3.5 cents US dollar, cents, right? USD. So on like Rays, they have a minimum of 50 ARS. So that means your base bet is 3.5 USD cents. If you come here, it's a $5, ARS or a 5 ARS min bet on some of these tables. So that's super slow. That's like what, 0.003? Anyway, let me figure. I gotta remember to do a better job of paying attention so I don't get into this ridiculous stuff. We should definitely not be up this high, right? But it could be a very costly mistake. Anyway, so that's your answer there, my friend, is that you can go to ARS if you want to lower it, but this has 1 penny bet on stake.com. And that's it for our comments for this go round. I'm sorry, I fell a little bit behind on comments. I'm trying to get caught up again. So just bear with me. I will try to respond to you guys as quickly as I can. I really do appreciate all the comments and the engagement and sharing your story of what you're doing, what works, what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like. But again, don't just stay on YouTube. Get into our Discord. That's where the real magic happens, okay? And I'll tell you what, if we can get up to $11, if we can get up to $10, we only need to win 3 more, a little bit more than 3. If we can get up to $10, I'll give you a preview of the website. All right, how's that? A preview of the website. Now, keep in mind that the content is, there's just a lot of placeholder content. Haven't gone through there and figured out all the content that I want to have in there and all this. It's basically just the basics of the layout and the design on it. And we've got a lot of fundamental things we need to change. Like, for example, the roulette analysis tool. You remember that, where you can go in and create your bets and see what the payouts are. That's an amazing tool. That is attached to your username and login. So no matter what computer you go to, if you log into our website, your bets that you saved are there. The roulette tool didn't do that initially, okay? It didn't do that initially. So if you went to another computer, you lost it. If we got the website got wiped out for some reason, you would lose it. So we're working on building a new database, tying all the users' login information in one database that will do both tools, and everything you do is saved. So in the event, even if the website were to crash, which we're changing to an upgraded hosting, even if it were to crash or you move computers, your session history when you're tracking your challenge is going to follow you. Okay. So we're working really hard to make that. Plus, like I said, told you guys that we're working. One of the biggest things that I heard feedback from on the tools, the challenge tracker, is that if you submitted an entry, you couldn't delete it and you couldn't edit it. So we are going to make that editable. You can either go in and edit your ending balance or whatever you put in for that session. You can edit or delete it out altogether without deleting your entire challenge. So we're making some fine tune, and the way that we're implementing this site is going to be so much more customizable. So when I get feedback from you guys, oh, which way, we're going to be able to implement that much more easily. All right, where are we at? 870. Man, oh, live. Okay. Telling you what, brag tables, not the tables to play follow the winner at. All right, here we go. So we lost that. So let's do our math right this time. Our high was 930. We're at 690, right? So 7, 8, 9, 30 plus 10. So we're down what, 250? Is that right? 7, 8, 9, $2.30. So we're down 240. I'm tired. It's pretty late tonight. We're down 240. So when we go in, we're going to go with the base bet of 30 cents. We're down 240. All right, here we go. We're going with base. We're leaving the first dozen open. Now, the difference between the OG version is you would stay at this base level as long as you're winning and only go up to the recovery bet if you lost. So this time, we are going to go no matter what to get above and to go to 940, right? 7, 8, 9, $2.50, right? Now we got to subtract 30 where we got to add 60 cents to this deficit. So you got to go. And I am literally brain dead right now. Okay, so it hit there. So now we're going to go into recovery mode, 720 to 930, $2.10. And so we're going to go 220, 240. That gives us 30 cents up. If my math in my head is right, I am literally exhausted. It has been a long day today. So, and I'm hungry. I'm ready for dinner. All right. Let's see how we do. Okay, there we go. So our high previous was 910. We should be at 940 and we're at 960. So my math still pretty much sucks. All right, that was a first dozen. Let's go. Let's win this one. I think I said if we got above I think we said if we get above $10. So we got to get $10 and then I can show you guys a preview of the site. And then, let's see if we can get a couple more wins here. We just need 2 more wins and off to the races we are. And 10 minutes in and we're at 960. So you can see this is a bit of a grind, but that's okay. I like it. And again, I'm only showing you this option of this style. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just different, right? There's pros and cons to everything. That's the beauty of roulette. It's brilliant. It doesn't matter how much you cover or you don't cover. At the end of the day, the house edge remains the same. You can't escape the house edge, right? You can't escape it in anything you do. So you can only hope that when you do whatever you're doing and whatever changes you're making, that session happens to work well for you. All right, we're going 3 units. Man, a lot of repeaters. All right, let's hope we win this one. Then we can head over to the website, right? All right, come on. And again, the website's just pretty much the shell of framework. There's some just sample stuff in there just to give us an idea of what some text would be and what some options are going to be like. But it's I'm getting really excited. But you know what? All in all, I don't really, the existing website, totally fine with that one. I want the tools. That's what I want. I don't think too many people really care too much about the actual look of the website. They want it to be functional. So I'm going to try to do the best of both worlds. All right, 1020. Let's go take a look at the website right now. I'm going to pull that up and here we go to full screen. All right, so this would be the homepage. You can see we're just playing around with some ideas of some wheel stuff. Right now we're just messing around where if you click this dot and you look up here, it's going to provide us with a result. So I don't know what we're going to do with this. It's just been for fun. We'll have new stuff coming across here. I think these boxes are going to be for updated news like, hey, we're going to be in Vegas, this, and this. We're going to try to put some other tools that are usable in here. And then of course, like on our existing website, the latest videos will pop up here. You can come to the tools section. This should look familiar, right? You got all the same tools. Here is a session tracker that gives you your hourly and minute rate. So if you want to keep track of how much you're making per hour, you can use this. If you want a challenge tracker, here you go. Name your challenge, initiate it, put your starting balance, put what you want to either as a percentage every day or a fixed amount, put that value in. We'd put 5%, initialize the challenge and start entering in your session information here. And this is going to give you your header of all the information, okay? Of course, we have our roulette strategies here still. We still have our partner page here for where we're not with Raised anymore. And then, of course, we have the best page, which is our all on black apparel and gear shop here. I know some of you are dying to get this bikini, so I think you guys would look fabulous in it. And then, of course, we don't have it right now, but the leaderboard will be kind of revamped if once we do get a leaderboard going on again. It'll be very similar. There's no players here, but we'll have some other stuff that will show the averages. And anyway, we're just playing with it. So anyway, that currently right now, this is the what we're working on. Hopefully, we can get it coming out here pretty soon. I'm not going to hold my breath. There's a lot to do here, like with the content, but that's what it is. All right, let's get back to it. Where are we at here? We are, I started my session over. We're going to call an end to this session right here. I'm going to leave us at 10 and 2. I really want to kind of do I kind of want to give myself permission to do a decent sized bet, like play like Deja Vu or something. How's Deja Vu working? I wouldn't do Deja Vu on this table because it feels like it repeats a lot, but it looks like it's doing okay. Oh, shoot. No. All right, well, I'm going to be irritated if it hits 31 to 32, 33, but I mean, it's static if it hits 34, 35, 36. Okay, let's go. It's a $25 bet. So I'm just going to kind of cap off this session. All right, we won that. There's a nice $5 little boost. And what the heck, let's go for one more. All right. We're playing Deja Vu, which means we cover the double street that just hit, and we leave the double street open in that same dozen. We leave that one open and we cover all of their double streets. We got 3 units on high. We got 2 units on low, which is essentially the same thing. All right, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, this kind of diverts from me saying I'm going to just grind, but you saw a lot of the grind. So you get the point. I'm just opening up and having some fun right now. Oh no, Wicked Witch of the East. All right, here we go. We are going to do it again. All right, you. All right, $75 bet. We are 3Xing. I'm being very, very aggressive with this. That's okay. Because like I said, I like this, that as the bankroll grows, I'm going to stick with 250 for quite a while. That's that percentage of my bankroll. And I know some of you are playing with 10% or even less, and that's great. Mine is at 18%, and that 250 is going to continue going down as our bankroll gets bigger. There we go. There's one. All right, we got to do it again. Here we go. And cover this one, double that bet. Really wish they had a 3X button. That would be nice. If you play 5 double streets a lot, you save 6 of these bets. That way you can just click on that bet 1, 2, 3, and you're adding 3 units or 4 units or 5 units or 6 units, whatever you want to do. So much easier, and you don't make mistakes like I do placing bets if you have them saved as favorites already. All right. Just pay attention when you click the favorites. I've gotten lucky and accidentally clicked some very large bets while I was trying to mess around with my saved bets, and I'm actually betting. And all of a sudden I look up on the screen. I'm like, what do you mean I just won $7,000? All right. That's all we're going to do for right now. Session number 2, we're going to come back. I'm going to switch gears. We're going to go to a different strategy for the last 2 sessions, and we'll see where we end up. All right. Again, I appreciate you guys truly. I will see you guys in just a little bit for our next sessions. All right. Cheers. Okay, fools. I am back. Took a nice long break. Got something to eat. Not feeling hangry anymore. And for this third session, we're going to go back to my roots and we're going to hit 9th Street. All right. Now I'm going to go, I've opted to go with 40-cent units for a total bet of $3.60. I feel comfortable with this unit size based on the coverage that we have. And again, I love 5 double streets. That's pretty much my fave. But all in all, you know what? 9 streets to me is the best value for the coverage and the payout, right? Because we're getting 3-to-1 here. Now, the one really big downside to 9 street is you got to put 9 units out there, right? So whereas at least with 5 double streets, if you want to go really low, you can play 10-cent bets, 50 cents. This one here with 9 units, you know, that can be a hurdle, especially on a low bankroll. So just be careful. We're playing what I'm calling Centipede 3, which means I'm going to start at the 3rd street here. See this 7, 8, 9? I'm going to start the 3rd street. It's going to go 9 streets and end at 31, 32, 33 street. 40 cents per street. It pays 3-to-1, right? So we're going to make $1.20 whenever we hit. It's a 3-to-1. So what I normally do on this is if you're feeling really comfortable and you got enough progressions, you can go to a 3x on the first one, which will recover you all the way to break even. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go just 2x. And on the first hit, I'm going to go 2x. And then I can decide you can leave it at 2x to go recover plus, but I'm going to bring my bets down. That's the way I've generally played it. Recently, though, I do like the 3x. And then after that, the 4x, but that gets very expensive very quickly, but it's a one-hit recovery, and I like that a lot. But right now, let's just keep going where we're going, see how we're doing. We're doing really well, 480. So this is where the Prague tables shine when you're doing strategies that you want it to hit in these same areas over. At least it seems like that to me. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about the website, or if there's features that you think that you're like, oh man, either this other place has these kind of features or this has this, or we would really love to be able to have something. Let me know. I'm going to actually try to create on the website. Well, there's already a submission, but I'm trying to come up with, I'm going to talk to the developer who's helping me and try to come up with maybe a way where people can post ideas. But we have that in our Discord. We have a website sub channel where you can go in there and you can post ideas for the website. I want to keep it simple. I want to keep it easy to get to. I don't need a complicated thing, and I don't think you guys do either. Functionality is the number one thing over looks and stuff. I just think that the new website looks really clean. It, whatever. And I'm not unhappy with the existing website. I mean, I hacked that together on Wix. So, not terribly beautiful, but it's okay. So, but I am excited about this. So let me know if there's any other features, but I'm going to try to get that as soon as possible. And, all right, we are absolutely destroying this. Now, one thing we can do, we talked about it. We left up $20.20, I believe. And that was our last session. And I shut everything down because I went to dinner and everything. So I don't have the graph that's back. But one thing you can do is, we are now at $275. We're up $25 so far. So if we were to keep going really well, this is a classic time of bringing our bets back down to, say, 10-cent units or something to protect it. We're still making 30 cents a hit, but we're bringing our bet down substantially from where it is here. Now I'm going to keep going with this. We've got this session and I'm planning on doing one more session. And for the last session, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. When I take my break, I'll figure it out. I'll go get my plan. I'll figure out my exit strategy, which you guys should also do, right? When you sit down, you're going to know. Now, sometimes, as I've spoken about, sitting down and your plan is, I get to do whatever I want. That is a plan, So give yourself those cheat meals now and then. Maybe you make your bankroll smaller, right? So let's say I'm normally playing with $250. Maybe I put $75 in there and I say, I get to do whatever I want. If I want to put $75 on one number, I can do it. So start thinking about that. How do I give myself that ability to unleash once in a while, right? Unleash and let go and let the creative freedoms take over, right? So just kind of think about that. I think it's healthy, right? I think it's healthy. You're going to play strict, give yourself a little thing. And that's where the bingo cards, I'm still working on mine. That's where the bingo cards come in, because when you fill out a line, you give yourself whatever that set reward is for either that line or any line. You say, here's my reward for that. And it can be external to this. It doesn't have to be roulette related or your bankroll. It could be something else. You get to go to a petting zoo. I don't know, whatever it is that you want to get funky with, So anyway, just think about it. But when you sit down, make sure you're solid. And it's really good if you try to stay consistent session over session, because that becomes a routine. If like by example, for me, when I'm doing these videos, a lot of it is I'm trying to come up with showing you guys something somewhat different. Now, you've already seen 9th Street. You already saw sit and spin. But I was thinking, okay, how would I adjust sit and spin for me? And I want to show it to you guys. 9th Street's pretty common, but we haven't played it for a while. So I'm constantly trying to come up with something, even if it's just a slight difference from what I've been doing, so that you've seen something a little different. And most of you have been really good about saying, don't worry about it. We're here to see consistency. That's what we want to see. So I appreciate that. For you, you don't have to entertain anybody. This is while you want to have fun with it. And that's how you have fun with it, by giving you some cheat meals now and then. But for the most part, right, we're here to make money. This is not entertainment anymore. So at least if you're on the life plan, right, it's not entertainment. But if you can get in a routine, and if it were me, I literally would probably be playing, I really would not be doing probably more than 3 strats. That's all. And I said that from the very beginning, right? You don't need a bazillion strategies. You don't need to go to all these other channels and be watching all these funkified strategies of this and that are complicated. If you want to, because you enjoy it and you want to do some testing, awesome, go for it. But I promise you, at the end of the day, no matter what strategy out there purports to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, they all come back at the end of the day. They're all going to have pros and cons. All right, here we go. So we are going to double up. And if we get a win here, we're going to go back down to base bet, and that will recover us. So it'll take us 2 spins just to get back to where we were. And that's okay with me. On these high coverage systems like this, with 9 units out there, progressions truly are life. Okay. So be very, very careful. I don't want this escalating. I want this coming down as quickly as possible. So here we go. So I'm going to go back to base bet. At least, even though we're still not recovered, I'm back at progression 1, and that's good. Anyway, if you're playing just like anything, right? And when I was coaching soccer, and I know a bunch of other coaches, again, I'm not inventing anything, but I used to always tell my players, practice the way you want to play in the game, right? Practice how you want to play in the game. And I think that's so true here as well. So when you come into your sessions, if you can be practicing and doing the same thing over and over and over again, pretty soon when you come to play your sessions, it's no longer, I got to constrain myself. I got to play within, I got to stay disciplined. Pretty soon that disciplined approach becomes the normal for you, and it's going to feel weird to go the other way. By example, I remember when I was just starting out and I got out of college and I was a state trooper, and during my junior and senior year in college, I started investing. I started working my way, paying all my college in full, working, no loans. I did take a couple Pell Grant loans, and what did I do with them? I didn't pay my college, and I invested it in stocks. So my point is, when I got so hardcore into, I want my money to make money. I don't need materialistic things now. I don't need those things now. I'm thinking about the future, and that's what I want you guys to do, because it's not very far off. You may thinking right now we're at the beginning of this journey, and it may seem like, wow, I don't know how far that off. It seems a million miles away before I'll be able to, make this my, my income, and I can have a more free life, right? I have so many more options. It may seem a long ways. I'm telling you, it's not. So when I started getting into a hardcore budget, I started saving, doing all those things. Pretty soon, it felt weird to go out to dinner and spend the money on a restaurant, right? Versus going to the grocery store and buying and going, wow, look how much we got, way more, because that's just a reality, right? I think I've said this before. It's kind of funny. We used to go out and either happy hour or, some of the bars had, like, whether it was ladies' nights or tightwad Tuesdays. And I remember we'd go out and they'd be like, dollar Bud Lights. Now, this is 30 years ago, right? Dollar Bud Lights. And you'd go up to the bar and literally my friends and I were like, man, how many can I carry at a time? And, oh, come on, dude. Now the dude's being a jerk. All right, come on. So we're back to our second progression, which is okay. Look at that little rough, and that's all right. But then you start thinking about it and going, how much does a 6-pack of Bud Light cost in the store? And remember, this is a long time ago, so it's not what it is now. And you start thinking, and even I look at that now, I go into the store and I look at a 6-pack of microbrews, right? And I go, wow, these are expensive, whatever that is. Let's just say it's $10, $12 for a 6-pack these days. When you break that down and you go, if I went to a restaurant and I said, how much for a IPA? And they said, oh, you can get a IPA for $2. You'd be like, $2? Yeah. Start it and don't stop it till I say, oh my God, this guy is being a punk. Overall, we're doing really well. We're doing really well right here, right? We should be at a 3-to-1 ratio and we're at a 5-to-1 ratio right now. So I got no complaints with this guy. I'm just kidding. So it's just a mindset. And so when you get in the habit of playing diligently and you're playing by the rules with discipline and all that stuff, pretty soon, now we got to stay up at this. We could come back down. What is this? 80 cents. Okay. We got to stay at this twice because if you look at this graph, right, we lost once, won, didn't recover, lost again. Now we got to stay up at the second progression, but that's okay. We're still only at the second progression. So we're doing really, really well. But when you get in that mindset, pretty soon, I was going to stick in the 2 for a second. What was our high? Yeah, we just recovered just now. When you start playing and over time you're playing with the correct number of progressions, you're not chasing, you have your exit strategy, you're time boxing your sessions, all these things. You're not looking at the profit ceiling as a must-have. That's your profit ceiling. It's our North Star. And you get that in your mind that's just a nice to have. That's our guide. Pretty soon, it's going to feel really weird when you come in one day and you want to sit down and maybe you give yourself permission to degen on a session, right? Like we talked about, the cheat meal. It's going to feel really awkward for you. And that's good. So when you get to that point where things seem wrong, right? I'm chasing. Oh, I feel dirty. I'm a dirty boy, that's a good thing. Okay. So keep at it, just stick with it. And pretty soon these fundamentals will just become part of your natural repertoire on how you play, and you're going to look at through the lens, you're going to see it as a whole different way than how you're seeing it maybe now, which is right now, you're just seeing it as I'm betting. I want to get profit. I want to make money. I don't want to lose my whole bankroll. And your lens is going to change into, I'm doing this really structured play. It's been working for me. I see it work for me. I know if I stick with this, it's going to keep going. That's just going to get ingrained into your head. All right. So stick with it. Trust me. You're going to blink your eye and it's going to be 12 months from now. Your bankroll is going to be $15,000, $20,000 or something, right? And you're going to look back and go, we started with $100. And the nice thing is when you're up that much, if you have ingrained all these things along the time, you've practiced what you preached, you've gone through and you've stuck with it, and you talk out loud like I do, and you write things down, you give yourself notes, you give yourself pats on the back when you do good sessions. Say it out loud. Good job, Brent. Man, way to stick with it. Way to walk away when you lost 3, 4 in a row. Way to stop and leave and take a break. Way to do this. Give yourself those things, okay? Because really, this isn't a team sport, so to speak, right? You're most likely, if you're playing with your partner or your spouse or whatever it is, awesome. Then you have, but most of us are playing on our own. So no one else is going to tell you, hey, good job, Brent, right? And I think we grow up in a society where we're taught from a very young age, at least most societies, right? Don't be selfish, share, do all those things. And at the same time, we find it difficult to accept compliments, right? I think that's hard for most people. It's hard to hear nice things, and it's hard for, so all those things. So we kind of grew up. And when I was coaching soccer, that's one thing that I noticed was that with, especially at the younger ages when I was coaching, because I coached my daughter all the way up, she was a little bit, all the way up through, and I kept moving up with her and coaching her. A kid would get a ball, right? The soccer ball would come to them, and what do? They're just booting it away. And for a while, it really perplexed me. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Really, what is the cause of this? Let's not just treat the symptom, right? And what I determined was, because we grow up telling the kids in school all the time, share, don't be selfish, give, that you get on the field and they get something and instinctually they just want to give it away, right? They just want to, I'm not allowed to have pride. Pride is like this bad thing. And I think we all know the difference between having pride in yourself and what you're doing and being just arrogant and boastful. And I think we all know the difference. But I think in our cultures, many cultures, I know some places, I can't speak for around the world, but for the places I've been to, I felt like we all have a lot more similarities than differences, really. And I just feel like it's okay to say, way to kick ass to yourself. Good job. And you don't do that enough. At least I'm willing to bet most of you don't do that enough because it feels wrong, right? You feel like you're being I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting those words into it, but don't. Congratulate yourself. Remember, I told you a long time ago, we got to celebrate the small victories. Those are what add up. We can't just wait for the big, because that's not what we're doing here. We're not looking for the big win here, right? We're doing small victories. Don't just wait till we get to 10,000. That's just the first rest stop. Okay. This is going on. The train isn't stopping, right? There's just some pauses at some stations along the way. So while we're here, make sure that at the end of the sessions, even if it's a session within your day, make sure you're stopping and telling yourself, man, good job. Good job. I did that. You rocked that. Maybe you changed strategies in the middle of the session because you were absolutely getting destroyed on 9th Street. So you moved to 2 dozen, or maybe you were getting destroyed on 2 dozen and you went to 5 Double Street, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you look back on it and go, wow, I didn't just get stubborn and just stick with something. I made an adjustment on the fly, right? Hey, good job. Good job. That's awesome. So just remember to do that, because that all promotes a really healthy relationship. Hello, Mr. Soybean. All right, buddy. Come on. All right, I got a soybean on my lap. Come on. How you doing? So I think that promotes a really healthy relationship. And this sounds weird, but between you and the gambling, right? Instead, yeah, I don't know. It's just that's kind of hard for me to like put into words, but it really does. And that's what you want. Anyway, all right, enough of that babbling. Let's keep going on. We're doing really well. We're at 19. Let's recover here. And you know what? I have faith in me. I'm going to go with 3X. That's a 1-hit recovery. And we're going to take a break. We went a little bit over because I was yapping again. And now I got the soybeans on my lap here, and he's just cuddled up. I don't know. Here, I'll back up a little bit so you guys can see. He's just basically taking over. Oh, no. All right, you jerk. We're going to go risky. I'm going to go double. We're up to a $43 bet. This will recover us all the way back to base hit. So let's see. This guy just went from 34 to 2. He just swung both ends. So let's see if we can get a hit here. I'm being very aggressive with this, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm having a good time. I have a healthy relationship with the casino until I start cursing. You? Oh, come on. Okay, we got it. I thought that was a 35 for a second. All right. We're at 28.80. We're at 20 minutes. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back for one more session. We are up. We started at 250. We're at 299. We're up $49 now. That 9th Street, let me tell you something. I told you guys before, there's a group, an uprising in our Discord server among some members called the 9th Street, the 9th Street Club. I'm telling you what, I've got some inside people working on it. I am going to root out every one of you because 9th Street, that's like 9th Street and 5 Double Street. That's the kings and queens of roulette. Don't let me catch you being on one of those secret Illuminati meetings of the 9th Street Club. All right, that's it. I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll wrap it up with the 4th and final session. Cheers. Okay, fools, back for our final session. Let's have a little fun with this one. I'm going to bounce, I think, between Gladiator and CYA. So if you're not familiar with Gladiator, basically it's 5 double streets as far as the coverage, except it's 29 numbers instead of 30 numbers. And all of these you see here, all these splits and straight ups on the inside, all of these, except for the 023, they pay out the same as 5 double streets. The 023 pay 3x. So to figure out your payment, you take in this case, $3, and you divide it by 5. Same thing as 5 double streets, 60 cents. That is what you're going to profit when it hits any of these. If it hits 023, that's a 3x win. We'll make $1.80 on that. And so for those that like covering the zero, this is a perfect strategy. As I said before, and I've said it a bunch of times, but as I said before recently, I don't believe in zero as insurance. So I know a lot of people, they'll play a strategy, and then in addition to that, they'll put a unit on zero as insurance. You might as well put it on any other number. It's not insurance anymore. Now you've just increased your bet by 1 number coverage, all right? It's not insurance. All right, 29, that's a whack. So on this one, I'm going to 3x. I'm going to 3x my bet, just like I would with 5 double streets. And let's modulate between this and CYA. So we're going to need to win twice, just like on 5 double streets. We're going to need to win twice on this to recover and go up 1 base unit, which is 60 cents. Or we can hit here and, oh no, God, this dealer. All right. Here we go. 2, 1, 2, 3. All right, we 3x'd again. So that's the downside of high coverage systems though, right? You get whacked a couple times in a row and you start getting your bets big and get a deep hole. So let's hope that this Demon Seed dealer does not continue to keep following us on these things. Let's see what he does. All right, that's a win. There we go. All right, but we need to stay here. We need to stay here. Good. Goodbye. At least he didn't spin it and walk off. That would be the dealer walk. That would be the walk-off spin. That is muy malo. All right, let's go. Let's see if this dealer, if she will be any better to us. I've been eating like trash, but so I got a big bowl of ice cream here. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's got 2 different types of ice cream. That's good. All right, what was our high here? $30. We're going to go back down to base and we're going to go back down 1 bet. So we're going to go to 3x of our base. So we're going to go down to a $9 bet here. So we're taking it down 1 step because we were at $27, right? So let's bring us down one step. If we win on any of these here, right, we are going to make $1.80. There's $1.80. And now we're in profit. We were at $30. Now we're in profit. We can go back all the way back down. And you know what? Let's switch over to CYA. CYA, remember, we're putting 9 overlapping consecutive corners. And then on the open column, because you can move these to the second and third if you want, and you can move them left or right as long as they're all consecutive and overlapping. And then in this case, the OG version, you put 5 units on here on the Overwatch. This one, we're putting 6. These out here are partial losses. So we're going to martingale it up. So now, right now, all of these on all of the wins from the 7 through the 29, these inside of these outside edge corners, right? So the inside, not the 4, 5 or the 31, 32, but these edges in here, these all make 3 units. And this Overwatch third column, that makes 3 units. In this case, our units are 40 cents. So it would make $1.20 profit. Okay. $1.20 profit. And we are going to need to stay here for another one. So what was our high? Our high was 30.60. Actually, we recovered. I don't know how that's possible, but let's see. This is a $3 bet. 20 cents would make 3 units, 60 cents. So it was $1.20. Not really sure how we recovered on that. All right, but we'll take it. So there's 360, right? Because our unit size is 20 cents and we're making 3 units. So we put 3, we made 360. This one's 60 cents. When we went up here, because we had martingaled it, that should have been $1.20, but our bet sizes, we lost $3. I don't know. My math hasn't been great. I started playing Wordle again because I need to work this gray matter. I'm spending too much time letting this thing do everything for me. So I got to get back in the habit of thinking myself. You saw my math skills and how pathetic they were earlier. So I am committed to starting to do things more and rely on my spreadsheets less. Heading to Vegas here. Couple days. Super excited about that. All right, here we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have a little fun here. This is our final session, and this is the entertainment part. So I hope you understand that. So when we get towards maybe 12 minutes, another 6 minutes, if we're still doing well, we're going to open it up to a couple big bets. Can anybody tell me what strategy they think I'm going to use to do that? If you said 5 double streets, you would be right. That being said, we crushed it on 9 streets tonight, didn't we? Didn't we, Dave Cook? I know you're a member of the F9 Street Club. I know you are. I know you are. We will hunt you down, my friend. The rebellion must be squashed. All right. There we go. There's another hit. Booyah. We're at 303. We're at $53.80. $53.80. Me likey. This one's CIYA, and I think we'll bust back over, although this one's doing really well. I think we'll bust back over to Gladiator. Gladiator and CYA, the way I have them set up, they're both $3 bets. So that's kind of nice when you can get these bets that have similar payouts, slightly different kind of coverages. All right. That would have been a whack on Gladiator. So here we're going to go back to Gladiator and to get a couple here. And actually we went over a little bit. So I think what we'll do is let's win a couple Gladiators, and then I'm going to take some chances and go a little bit big. I'm okay with that. And like I said, this is more of the entertainment portion of the programming. So for the most part, I've been a good boy, right? For the most part, I've been a good boy. Come on. I've been pretty good. So we're going to do 5 double streets. And right now I'm just trying to think of, before I do it, I want to win 3. So that's 1. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do because I have $302. I'm right now in my head, I'm deciding, what am I willing to give up of that 300? Am I willing to give up the entire 3? Am I looking at only the profit of $52 plus the 3, $55? So yeah, we're at $55.60 profit. What am I willing to risk? And I mean, we're doing so well. Where are we at right now? We started at 14.19 today, and now we're that was when we were up only 20 something. So we're at 1400. I got 300 here. That's a loss, so we got to stay here. I was just getting ready to say she's not going to give us 3 in a row. There we go. So this is a $9 bet. What would you guys do? I'm trying to think. What would most of you do? Now, when I put it to you that way, you got to kind of shift your mindset of when I say, what would you do? Out of, we're playing strictly. Yes. Oh, booyah. Ka-chow. A 3x hit. And that's the excitement you get playing Gladiator. All right. I'm going to stick with Gladiator a couple more because in case she gives us punches and bunches on the 0, which feels like 0, 2, and 3, when those start hitting, I feel like on the Prague server, they really start hitting. So we're going to cover this. I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Because when I say, think about that, what would you do? You kind of got to put your more of a mindset of, what number is that? 16? That's a win. More in the mindset along the lines of, you're not just playing for yourself in your house and doing our normal, what we should be doing. If you were doing a little bit open entertainment like this and you were sharing a video, how would you play it? And I think we're gonna get a little gutsy with it. $300. Let's see. If I go in 50, the way I think about it is I want 2 bullets. I want my base unit, and then I want to be able to 3x that to be able to try to get 2 hits to win that back. So if I go in at 50, 150, that's 200. I think that's enough. So we're going to go in at a $50 bet, which is $10 double streets, right? $10 units. If we lose that, we'll go to $30 units. Where I'm going to be willing to risk 200 of the bankroll. What did I tell you? Punches and bunches. Look at this right here, right now. You heard it here first. All right, I'm just going to stay here for a little bit longer until I feel like she starts hitting some of these numbers, some of her whacks, or when I feel like it's out of there. But punches and bunches, man, when they open that door, the floodgates come right out. All right, $40. We're up 58, 59. Look at that. We're up $61 right now. Oh my gosh, it almost hit the 0 again. I told you. Classic Prague right here. Classic Prague server. Man, I was hoping for that 0. So I'm going to stay right here. 0 the hero strategy. And we're just going to play it right here. So I never covered 0 my entire gambling career, for the most part, outside of some really unique situations that I told you. Oh my gosh. I thought it was bouncing over towards the 0 again. I'm staying right here. I'm not moving. I'm sorry, folks. We're at 12 minutes. I got a little bit more time. You can't pressure me into moving. All right. I will not be pressured. I will not be pressured into making big bets. I know you guys aren't. I'm the one pressuring inside my head. I've got the little devil sitting right here on my shoulder. Do it, Brent. Do it. Quit being such a pussy. And then I got the little harp over here with the little, Brent in the white robe. No, Brent. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. All right. I feel like maybe she's gotten it out of her system. We'll see here. Let's give us one more second. And then I'm also trying to figure out How many I want to go for if I decide to do $50 units. How many do I want to go for? Okay, what's the history? 9 for them. All right, here we go. We're going to leave 31 through 36 open. Here's a $50 bet. Let's see how this do. And if we lose this one, we get one more bullet. $150 or $30 units. We get one more bullet. I don't think I'll do them consecutive. I think I will back out of it and do a base bet first for a hot second. But we don't need to. Look at that. That's a nice little hit. Now we're up $73.40. I'm going to actually go down to $5 units. We just won $10. So at least if we lose this, we're only actually losing a total of $15 between the two bets, right? So as much as I want to stay up, this is where if you get in the habit of playing disciplined, even when you allow yourself to go crazy like this, see, at least we saved ourselves from getting too far in the hole. All right, now what I'm going to do is, of course, she couldn't even give us 2 wins, right? And I felt like she wasn't going to give us more than 2 wins. Let's see where she goes with this. Outside of those zeros. All right, I'm going to stay put. We're going to go right back. All right, we're down 15. I'm going to still preserve my final bullet. I'm staying here at 50. So I still feel comfortable if I wanted to have another 150 bet, but we're down 15. So if we can get 2 of these, that would put us recover plus go up 5. And I'm just playing with fire here, right? Okay, I'm going to go down. I'm going to be a good boy and try to break even. And then I might probably call it a night. I'm either going to call it a night or I'm going to go in a big ass bet. A BAB, a BAB. I might throw in a BAB. I don't know. Obviously, the smart thing is, hey, we're doing really well. I mean, even if we lose this, we're up $34. All right. And that graph is funky sometimes, isn't it? 53.20. I miscalculated. All right, we're down 10. Oh, I didn't get that last one on there. Okay. Well, the good news is if we hit here or anything down here, right? If we hit anything here, we're going to win $10 instead of just 5 if it hits low. Yes, so we just won $10. So that was a nice hit. We're at 334. We are at $84 profit. I'm just going to put on Gladiator real quick. And I think we're going to just call it. I think I'm very, very happy with $84. We took our chances. We got whacked once, but we recovered. So I think we're going to call it quits. I'll take that 84. And even if I miss this one, who cares? We'll still be up $81. So I'm not even going to chase this one if we lose it, but we don't. We do win it. All right. You know what? We're not leaving it on 334.60. We're not going to do that. What did we hit low? All right. We're going to play straight up martingale, regular martingale, follow the winner, high-low for 40 cents. We need one win. No matter how many times we lose, we just need one win. That'll give us our $40 and give us to a nice, even, whole balanced number. Oh, of course not. All right, here we go. Now, yeah, that's okay. All right, come on. We got plenty of progressions here on this, so I'm not concerned about that. And at least it's not the big bets, right? It's not the big $50, $150 bets. This is an 80-cent bet. So, sugar-free candy. All right, let's go. No harm, no foul. Give us a high here. Yes. Booyah. There you go. Look at this balance. 335. You guys see that? You see that? That's right. That's right. All right. That's it. Good 4 sessions. Let me know what you think about the modifications that I made to sit and spin. If you prefer a more aggressive, a quicker recovery, or you like where you just keep it low, 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 and then go for it. I like both ways. I haven't really decided which one I prefer yet, but let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. And I'm getting very close to disclosing and picking our first person for Operation Shadow. Like I said, I talked to the team today. I want to roll it out, and then I want to figure out how to scale it so we can get more of you going at the same time. I'm working on it. All right, that's it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing really, really well. I'm reading the comments and you guys are absolutely crushing it. And for those of you that have taken some steps backwards or fallen, hang in there, take a break, come back, grind it back. You'll be back before you know it. All right. I'll see you guys next time. I truly appreciate all you guys. All right. Cheers.